Let's face it, becoming a Lord of the Undead is hard enough as it is. And while V Rising offers a decent introduction to its castle-building action RPG systems, there are still some things it doesn't do a great job of laying out for you. Like, for example, telling you how to hide from the sun encroaching on your base when you're just trying to build a sawmill. To help you out as you create your immortal empire, we've put together this list of 20 things that V Rising doesn't tell you. If you're just starting out and have only constructed a base with wooden walls, try crafting a mist brazier to generate a fog that can block out the sun in small areas. It requires a steady supply of bones to keep it active, so you may wish to turn it off during the night to conserve your resources. After you place your castle heart, you may notice that you have a notification telling you that your castle is decaying. That's because your castle needs blood essence in order to stay fortified. Once it starts decaying, other vampires and creatures can attack your castle and take it down, so make sure that any spare blood essence you have goes straight into your castle heart. Make sure to grab items bathed in gold on the ground, as important items are highlighted by golden loot beams of light, compared to the common blue beam of light that appears for standard resources and materials. Blood is essential in V Rising. If you're completely out of blood and you don't refill it in time, your health will drop to 1 and stay there until you feed on unsuspecting creatures or consume items such as tainted hearts or rats, which will provide a small amount of low-quality blood to help keep you alive. Are you struggling with a messy inventory or storage container? Press the sort button when accessing storage to instantly sort the items into categories. It's not perfect, but it's a quick way to overcome the chaos of managing inventories. You can also select Compulsively Count when looking at storage to automatically transfer items from your inventory if the same type of item exists in the container that you're looking at. This is very handy when trying to keep storage containers organized just as you'd like it. In need of a particular resource or material and unsure how to find it? Open your world map and hover over the highlighted areas to find area descriptions that detail exactly what type of loot you can expect to find in that region. If you're looking for a particular blood type or quality, you can mouse over enemies on screen to see those details before having to fight them. You can also unlock Blood Hunger, a vampire power that you receive after defeating Tristan, the Vampire Hunter. This ability allows you to instantly recognize the blood type and blood quality of nearby creatures. Before leaving your castle or engaging in combat, be sure to investigate your weapons and armor for any durability issues. If they're on their last legs, it's best to repair them before you leave to ensure that they don't fall apart during a fight. When hovering over an item in your inventory, you can see a stat called Durability. If the item is not at 100%, you can repair the item by pressing the middle mouse button, or the scroll wheel, if you have the required resources to repair it. The game will also notify you that some of your gear durability is low when it shows you these symbols on the screen. If you're feeling like progression is a bit too slow, or resources are a bit too scarce for your liking, consider starting a private game or your own server. Custom games allow you to enable and adjust over 60 advanced settings that can drastically change your experience in V Rising. There's a little something for everyone buried in this settings menu, but you will likely need to start all over again once you change server in order to change these settings. If changing settings is too permanent for you, consider giving yourself resources and items with console commands. This can let you get past that one thing holding you back, or allow you to jump ahead to tackling later game objectives if you feel like it. You will need admin authority in order to activate them, which can be done in different ways depending on what type of server you are playing in. If you're a private server player, first make sure that the console is enabled in the settings menu. Then, press the tilde button under the escape key to open the console, and then write admin AUTH. Now, you can enter any console command you wish. We can't cover each of the server type instructions in this video, but you can find those instructions and a list of every console command and cheat code in our full guide on IGN. Unless you need to, avoid running too far away from V-Blood carriers and enemies, as once they leave your screen, their health will be replenished. Some V-Blood carriers will follow you for a certain distance, but they will eventually return to their main roaming area, meaning you'll have to start the fight all over again. Unlike when feeding on normal enemies, when draining blood from a V-Blood boss, you'll be invincible to all damage. After successfully extracting their blood, a large blast will occur, and all surrounding enemies will be instantly defeated. This can help you finish a boss fight faster once the prompt appears, so don't let yourself be finished off by their cronies. While there's no complete protection from the sun, you can create consumable potions that provide increased resistance to elements such as the sun, garlic, silver, fire, and holy damage. These can be incredibly handy to keep on your character when exploring, as you never know who or what you might stumble upon. In order to craft potions, you'll need to defeat Clive the Firestarter, who will reward you with the blueprint necessary to craft an alchemy table. If you want more innate sun resistance, the tailoring bench, which is unlocked after defeating Quincy the Bandit King, can be used to craft armor and cloaks that further increase your resistance to elements. If worse comes to worst, you can also approach the piles of hay that you'll find in fields and near farms if you're caught out in the sun or need a place to hide from enemies. Once you've entered the Dunley farmlands, you will likely stumble upon a horse and form a bond with the friendly four-legged creature, only to find out later that it has perished under your watch. We're not here to judge though, as V-Rising doesn't explain that horses require some basic care to survive. In order to keep horses alive, you'll need to keep them hydrated with water-filled canteens. To obtain canteens, you'll need to have earned the crafting recipe by defeating Keely, the Frost Archer. Once the canteen is crafted, fill them up by using them on a liquid source such as a river, lake, well, or fountain. Now that you have filled some canteens, store them in your horse's inventory. If you store quite a few, it will stay healthy for quite some time. Horses also have individual stats such as max speed, acceleration, and rotation speed. While you won't always find drastic changes between each individual horse, it's always worth checking your options when you have the choice to be selective. Once you've got your prize horse, you can gather your friends and head over to the racetrack found in the western area of the Dunley farmlands. The track is complete with several obstacles such as barrels and fences, so don't expect an easy win. Almost all forms that allow you to transform into another creature have unique abilities that you can use to your advantage, so don't forget to make use of them. The bear form heals faster out of combat, the wolf form allows you to travel faster, and then there's the human form. When human form is activated, you'll be able to sneak around in human settlements unnoticed. This can be useful for scoping out towns and interacting with traders, but this form will consume more blood than usual, and strong-willed humans can also see through your disguise if given the chance. Cave passages can be used to fast travel across the regions of Vardoran. Unlike vampire waygates, cave passages let you fast travel with resources and loot in your inventory, which can be so helpful when you're just trying to get home. Most of these caves are one-way shortcuts that lead back to easier areas of the game, so if you see one of these diamonds on the map nearby, see if you can access the entrance. Hopefully these tips make you a more fearsome creature of the night. Keep checking on our full written guide on IGN as the game receives updates during its early access phase. And for even more on V-Rising, you can find our Servant's Guide or our tips for how to find and gain more iron ore. For all your other gaming needs, keep it here on IGN.